Is it really possible for your average Magic the Gathering player to reach Mythic without spending a single penny? Today, we're going to put that to the test, starting with a fresh account and grinding the ranked ladder to see how many games it takes to reach the coveted Mythic rank. Hello everybody, my name is AJ and welcome to day 14 of the free-to-play to Mythic challenge. Now, unfortunately, I did not record the first game of today. We got a very quick turn 4 win against an Orsov-based deck. They didn't have the interaction, and we turned 2 Tifa, turned 3 Chocobo with a fetch land to push through for the victory. Very fortunate, quick game 1. We'll go ahead and show you guys the deck list, and we'll get into game 2 of the climb, but the first game that you guys will be able to see. Here is the deck list for today's climb. I believe it is the same as day 13's deck list. It's running the 1 of Terra Symbiosis and the 1 of Scavenging Ooze until we can get our 4th Traveling Chocobo. Potentially considering adding in some Shelter by Ghost in addition to the World Soul's Rage. I think it's a very powerful card that has definitely helped us out of a lot of tough matchups, but still debating what to take out for that. Without further ado, we'll get right into the climb. Here we are getting into what is technically game number 2 on the draw. This hand feels a little bit slow for being on the draw, what with nothing but 3 drops, but we have our land drops. We have a fetch land for the Mossborn Hydra and protection for it. So while this is definitely a slow hand and there are decks that this loses to, I think that this is not the worst hand I've ever kept. Into this life gain nonsense, it's definitely a little bit scary to say the least. Now I think I would like to save this escape tunnel for a Mossborn Hydra. I think our best bet is probably to Mossborn Hydra on turn 4. Go for a turn 5 win with Fabled Passage and then Chocobo Escape Tunnel. Wow, okay. Interesting. And we'll mill X cards, so some kind of life gain mill adjacent strategy. Definitely interesting to see, at the very least. Let's see, we'll be able to get our Hydra in a turn sooner, which will be great. Definitely pleased to see the Llanowar Elves off the top. Some kind of Azorius Cleric, I suppose, for Sanctifier. Be a lot of life gain for him. Okay. There you go. Able to get another creature down. And get their card draw. Great for them. That'll be a decent chunk of mills too with Steam, especially with the life linker. Over hopefully with Hydra and protection for it. We can still push through for the victory on turn, maybe not turn 4. We can Fable Passage. Oh my goodness, that is a huge mistake. Not even the first time I've made that misplay. That's very disappointing. I see 4 mana and I think Fabled Passage comes in untapped. It unfortunately does not. So we'll have to hope they don't have a Get Lost in hand. If they do, that will be unfortunate. Yeah, that is terrible misplay by me. I mean, there's no reason not to just forest there. Absolutely loses us that game. Horrible misplay. That is extremely frustrating. I mean, that Mossborn Hydra, we Traveling Chocobo and fetch land, and that doubles. It'd be at 2, so I mean that doubled to 32. I guess it wouldn't be quite enough to win, but it would. Well, the Shelter by Ghosts. I guess it wouldn't be enough to win this turn, but it'd be a heck of a lot of damage. That is more than unfortunate. Very frustrating loss in game 2. But nothing to do but to learn from it. If we tilt could definitely negatively impact our next games, so we'll get right into game number 3. Here we are on the draw again. Definitely an interesting hand. I don't dislike being able to get Tifa in with protection turn 2. It's a little bit of a one-note hand, and we have no way to actually make Tifa stick around, so depending on our draws, this hand could be useless. I could like to send this one away. This hand is it's a little bit better. I think the Chocobos are always worth something. To be honest, I have not been the biggest fan of the Ice-Toe Explorer. It's... even playing a 4-drop like that always feels kind of bad, and I potentially might want to sub them out for a couple Shelter by Ghost, maybe run a 3-3 split with those in World Souls Rage. Definitely something I'm at the very least considering. I prefer not to slam Tifa into a Rakdos deck. I think having the luxury of waiting one turn would be great. Okay. Suppose I can just play Tifa, hold up Defend the Rider mana, and maybe with a Chocobo and a fetch land we'll be in an okay spot. Quinn's Insight is an interesting card. I have not seen that before. I suppose it's some kind of Omen Path's Mayhem. Here we will Defend the Rider. Love this protection spell. I mean, this is, I think, in the running for the best protection spell in the game. Absolutely phenomenal card. And here, with Fabled Passage, we can grow our Tifa to 16 damage. Very much put our opponent in a weak position to be in. Need lots of removal to answer everything, and we always have World Souls Rage in the back, bar any counter spells, so this hopefully will be another quick victory in the books. See if they have another removal for the Chocobo. If not, World Souls Rage will be enough to kill them. See if they let this Chocobo connect. That's an interesting decision, but I will not complain. World Souls Rage to the face for 1. And that will be another one in the books. We'll go ahead and get back on the climb and hopefully make enough progress to reach a new tier today. Game number 4, unfortunately on the draw again. However, we can get in a turn 2 traveling. It's interesting. I've seen these 4 cards together more than once the past couple days. I don't love this. The traveling Chocobo into Ice-Still is kind of a poor combination, but I think with Chocobo on turn 2, we hopefully can generate some card advantage, especially being on the draw, to find some better cards. Looks like we might be against, I suppose it's another life gain focused deck. Well, I suppose the best choice would be to just slam a Chocobo here. If it dies, we slam another one. As much as I'd like to get Bristly Bill in. Although maybe we should put Bristly Bill in so we can start growing our creatures a little bit. Bar any Shelter by Ghost nonsense. Bristly Bill will at least be a decent blocker for now. Yes, and now we can Traveling Chocobo. Make Bristly Bill just that little bit stronger, and Terra Symbiosis actually will be a nice bit of card advantage for us. Yeah, why don't we spread the love a little bit? Elves, and I think we should keep Bristly Bill as a blocker. Can always just block with the gnome, gain their life, and grow their Johnnies. And I think we need a big trampler to get in. I think the chip is less important against a life gain deck like this. The Ice Talk Swarming. Not really excited to play at this game. Just felt very lackluster. I think for tomorrow's climb I may consider trying a day with Shelter by Ghost instead of the Explorer, just to see how that goes. Well, Terra Symbiosis will give us a little bit of card draw. And I suppose getting another Traveling Chocobo in is never a bad thing. And again, I think we wait just one turn. I mean, they need to top deck like a Shelter by Ghost to have any interaction with their board state. Maybe get lost if they're running that. Vanishing Light is an interesting choice of removal. However, with the Saja Chocobo and, well, with how many Chocobos we have on the board, we can at least grow another threat, and I think we might as well drop in Tifa. We'll save that Terramorphic Expanse, and she will grow for the victory, bar Axe of Removal on the top of the deck. Yeah, and we should hopefully be in a decent spot here. Playing another Chocobo is hilarious, but here we will get all of our triggers in, be fortunate enough to actually get Defend the Rider, and Tifa will double into unimaginable sizes and give us one more win. Absolutely love playing against any deck that's not some form of control. Games go by much faster, and we're able to get in so many more. Hopefully that pattern will continue, and we will continue on this climb. Here we are yet again on the draw, but with a hand that I think is keepable. We have Bill and the Traveling Chocobo, Defend the Rider for protection. Though we do appear to be facing some form of graveyard-focused deck, so I'd rather get Bristly Bill in early, but I also would rather not leave him open to get kill-spelled immediately. So I suppose our best choice is two Llanowar Elves. Drop our land. I think I'm okay with that. Could always Defend the Rider to protect it, but it seems a silly venture. We can always just Bristly Bill and Defend the Rider for protection. Valgaboth Faithful is terrifying. They have big Valgaboth next turn, unfortunately. We fortunately should be in an okay spot here. Yeah, we can go ahead and Defend the Rider Bill. And see what they have available to them. Grab the big Valgaboth, makes sense to me. Well, I suppose I should play the Hydra, Escape Tunnel to grow it bigger than Valgaboth. Sucks that it might get kill spelled, but then we can Ice Still Explorer next turn, and we should be good to win. So it's a path to victory, but it's assuming they don't have removal in hand, which against a deck like this is never the safest choice. But I think winning the game is worth the risk. I don't know what other play we might have available to us. I suppose we could We could have played the Chocobo. Maybe found an untapped land off top for Defend the Rider. This might be a better choice. Oh, especially because Valgaboth steals our land. Yeah, very silly play. Let's hope they don't draw a removal piece, and hopefully with the Chocobo we have 2 chances to find a land and can make this Mossborn Hydra big enough to win. But silly mistake on our part. We will have to be very fortunate to win this game, and that does look like fortune. You have Defend the Rider mana available now, and this Hydra should be more than big enough to swing through for the victory. Our opponent surrenders, and that gives us another very quick victory on the climb to Platinum Tier 1. On the draw yet again, but with a hand that I think I'm okay to keep. It's very fast with the double Llanowar Elves. Again, potentially gives us a turn 2 Mossborn Hydra, and we don't have a lot of protection for it. So depending on the matchup, it definitely could be a risky hand to keep, but we'll have to see what we're playing against. Love to have something this fast against some kind of potential Azorius control. Jeskai control even has the same effect. Now, I have a horrible matchup into control, and I've been trying to avoid playing into the counterspells, but perhaps sometimes that's the right thing to do. Maybe we should just Llanowar Elves, see if it gets counterspelled. If not, we can build up our mana reserves so we can maybe pay for No More Lies, perhaps? I mean, they're for sure holding up counterspell of some kind. The question is, should I play Tifa into it? I don't think so. I think with the Hydra in hand, we can kind of wait for them to do a card draw spell. At some point, they need to take a turn off. We'll get every bit of chip we can. I suppose they could just be holding up into the star charts and nothing else. Or consult the star charts, whatever their new card draw piece for Range of Eternities is called. Yeah, consult the star charts, okay. Maybe we should have played Tifa. At the very least, we can prevent them from starting to gain their advantage. Although I never really know. We can't pay for a counterspell, so I'd rather Tifa. If we're gonna Tifa, we might as well play land so we can pay for No More Lies. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and throw Tifa in the ring. Hit him for a little bit of damage. And maybe don't get board wiped in the process. I could definitely see a lightning heat. Yeah, that's it on the Tifa. That definitely seems like board wipe mana to me. Now I'd love to try and get Mossborn Hydra in, but I want to fetch land so I can get it out of Helix range, and I unfortunately do not have a land to protect it, so I'm gonna do this while I can. And we'll simply get in for a little bit more chip. I have a feeling I'm playing the control matchups wrong. Like, I know my deck may not have the best matchup into an Azorius or Jeskai controlled deck, but I think the win rate that I have is indicative of some kind of misplay. I don't think any matchup is as bad as the way my games have been going. But I'm going to try the Mossborn Hydra. We can pay for No More Lies. If they hard counter it, we can just slam in the Traveling Chocobo. I suppose maybe we should have Traveling Chocobo'd first. I think there's a No More Lies in hand. That's what I'm expecting to be seeing right now. I think Jeskai Control doesn't run many hard counter spells, so I almost would like to wait on the Traveling Chocobo. Although there's really no way to defend against Lightning Helix, so I might as well just play the land. If they try to counterspell, well, if they No More Lies, they can Lightning Helix as well. I suppose I will just land drop. See what they choose to do. We'll Terramorphic Expanse to try and get out of Helix range as fast as we can. Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, but not the end of the world. They definitely have interaction of some kind. And again, I have the mana. I think I can wait one turn on the Chocobo. But it's definitely tough. I suppose we'll play it. And see, again, I don't think they have a hard counter spell. I suppose I could get No More Lies twice. That would suck. They do. They are running the 3 steps ahead. That is very unfortunate. And it's possible it's worth just surrendering here and trying to get more games in that are winnable. Here, well, I guess I can't quite pay for 2 No More Lies. But I do want to be greedy. Now, I would love to escape tunnel here. We can grow him out of Lightning Helix range, because if they choose to Lightning Helix, we can crack the escape tunnels. Grow him out of that range. Well, I suppose best bet is just to wait and see what happens. If we get board wiped, I think it may be worth just going to the next game. Okay. I actually think I will sack these escape tunnels to make the elves just a little bit bigger. So we have a little bit more threat. Put them on a 3-turn clock instead of a 9-turn one. Now I'd like to crap a map token on these guys. World Souls Rage is what I like to see. Going to 8 doesn't really accomplish anything for us, so I will save that map and see if we draw a card. So I'm going to save this Mossborn Hydra and this World Souls Rage so we can maybe recover from a board wipe. Again, they kind of have to hold up mana for this World Souls Rage always. Can hit them in the face for 6 and get 4 fetch lands back. Okay. Now I think the best choice is to... We definitely want a World Souls Rage while they're low, but I think the best choice is to Mossborn Hydra, because this doesn't kill them, and so we at least get a little bit more value out of it. Throw our Hydra be pretty big, and Bar, again, we'll just have to see what interaction they have. And we are fortunate enough to get a victory into our worst matchup. A little bit of a longer game, but beating Control to get to Platinum Tier 1 is a great feeling. We have time for plenty more games today, and we will try and get as many pips as we can. Finally on the play in game number 7, with 4 tap lands in hand. Definitely an interesting hand, and one I think I want to keep. We can get Chocobo in 1 turn behind. And honestly, I feel much better about this hand into the green matchup. They should not have many kill spells available to them. And hopefully with the Traveling Chocobo and our multitude of fetch lands, we can get our little guy to push through for the victory sooner rather than later. Mossborn Hydra is definitely something scary though. Now Defend the Rider I don't really want to keep around. I think I'd prefer to get Tifa and try and push for a turn 4 victory with the Traveling Chocobo. Be unfortunate if they win with their Mossborn Hydra, but with the Chocobo and a fetch land, the big Chocobo and a fetch land, Tifa should be enough to win. And with Chocobo and a fetch land, we will get more than enough damage to win the game, and so I almost want to keep the Chocobo up. I do almost want to keep the Chocobo up to protect our life total. But I suppose it would need a lot, even with the fetch land and Bristly Bill. I suppose a Chocobo and a fetch land would definitely be unfortunate. Even with Bristly Bill and a fetch land, I think we are in a decent spot here. I suppose Chocobo and a fetch land would get Hydra to 16. Still would not be enough to win. And I think them swinging with that Hydra might spell their loss. So we can throw in our Fabled Passage now. And this Tifa Lockhart should be more... Well, actually, no, it won't quite be enough, it's the worst part. Tifa will only get to 16 on the nose. So they'll have to chump the Chocobo with something, but I suppose they will have to chump with both. It's unfortunate. I think a mistake on my part. But again, they have to jump with both. I suppose I could have held that fetch land up in case they didn't know that. This will get through for 14 damage. I think holding Defend the Rider up is better. Yeah, we protect our Tifa, but they're at 2 life, and the Chocobo might be enough to do that. No. Let's keep Tifa alive. Let's choose to keep Tifa alive. Their life total is low, and they don't have that much mana available to them. I mean, they have outlets to win for sure. That is one of them. Actually, it's not. Very lucky game for us. I will attest, I'm not super pleased with how I played that. But we, the arena gods are smiling upon us today. Our opponent did not have what they needed, and we will be fortunate enough to sneak out with a win. Another game on the draw, but another game with a keepable hand. I think always having a nice curve is great, especially on the draw. Getting stuff in early is great to see. The ice till again. I'm never excited to see the ice till. I've never seen the ice till and be like, oh yeah, that's gonna save me the game. Okay, interesting. Some kind of Mardu deck. I don't know if I want to play Bristly Bill directly into it then. I think there's not much choice. It's not like I have protection for him to wait. Kind of just a hoping game if they don't have the removal. I suppose I could have chosen to tap land instead. Lots of choices here. Good escape tunnel for red mana, try and get the Explorer on curve. That would grow Bristly Bill out of Lightning Helix range. Or we could one land drop, play the Hydra. I think I like the idea of escape tunnel. If they let this resolve, we can get it out of... Yeah, we can just sack our escape tunnel in response. That's great. Absolutely love that. Gets us our red mana. Gets in for some good damage and burns a kill spell out of the hand. That feels great. I think had I played Mossborn Hydra into Fire Magic, that would have felt much, much worse. And with Bristly Bill hopefully out of the range of most of their kill spells, I will attempt to slam down a Mossborn Hydra. And if they have interaction for it, that's great for them. If they don't, that's great for me. Okay. Just escape tunnel. Again in response. The Hydra to be just a little bit bigger. Hydra to be 10. Suppose with black and white they do have Get Lost and whatever black kill spells they have. What they want. 4 colors is interesting. Interesting to say the least. I will be electing to Fabled Passage. And we get another surrender from an opponent. Love playing into the... I don't even know what matchup this was, to be completely honest. And we will get another win in the books and still have time to continue on the climb. Here we are on the draw again with a marginally worse hand, I think. Definitely not an awful one. I mean, we have a lot of our great pieces in hand. The fetch lands just make our curve slightly weaker. I suppose I'm willing to keep it, but I would prefer other things. Well, that is an unfortunate matchup to have. I think our options are either Escape Tunnel, so that we can play a Chocobo and make it a blocker right away, but we cannot make it out of Killspell range. We can only get it out of Burst Lightning range. So I think we might as well just play it now. And the only thing we can get out of is Burst Lightning, and they can always just Lightning Helix it. At the very least we burn a Burst Lightning. I think that's maybe beneficial. I'm not confident in that decision. Well, gonna get smacked by a good chunk of damage here. I suppose the second Bristly Bill is the best choice. Yep, about 4 damage. Okay. We will grab World Soul's Rage because we can kill the Lightfall Inquisitor if we need to. Although I would definitely prefer not to. Wait, I think I will Bristly Bill because he can't die to Burst Lightning, and at the very least becomes a good blocker. Because they won't have an opportunity to respond until I get a fetch land in. Yeah, we can escape tunnel in response. Absolutely great. Love doing this to the red players. Burning the free kill spells as often as possible is great. And that in fact gets Bristly Bill out of lightning strike range. So now I would like the opportunity to Traveling Chocobo. Or potentially we could Tifa Lockhart, Traveling Chocobo, because we can get her out of Burst Lightning range, not Lightning Strike range. But if they spend their whole turn on a Lightning Strike and leave 1 card in hand, I think I'm okay with that. So let's send in Tifa and try and Traveling Chocobo for the victory next turn, if we can find a fetch land, that is. We will leave up our blockers. Screaming Nemesis is a great piece for our opponent, but I think with the Traveling Chocobo we will still be able to push through for the victory with Tifa. If we can find a fetch land off the top, I think that would be ideal. That is exactly what we want to see. Let's go full control mode just to make sure we get this correctly, but we don't even have to worry about it. We get 1 more surrender and should have time for 1 more game before the end of the climb today. Made some great progress already, but let's go ahead and hop into the finale. On the draw 1 more time, but with again a hand that I think I'm willing to keep. We have Bristly Bill and Chocobo and a Tifa. Tifa and Chocobo on their own have the potential for a turn 4 victory. Of course, into the black deck, it's likely that there's interaction. Deep Cavern Bat is definitely scary. They have to take the World Soul's Rage though, so that's a benefit to us. If they don't, turn 2 will Fabled Passage or red mana. Yeah, we can just get it back and start ramping. Now I do concern myself with the fact that potentially Bristly Bill gets kill spelled here, and that's very scary. But they don't know we have another in hand. That's the one unknown. So I think that is the best thing to slam and for them to spend a kill spell on. Slasher actually is okay. I think the best choice is to... I suppose it would be to Tifa Lockhart Fabled Passage, so we have 2 threats. Or we can grow Tifa Lockhart to be a victory next turn. Yeah, I think that's the best choice. And we will save this Fabled Passage for the Chocobo. Well, I guess we won't save it for the Chocobo, but we'll save it for if they choose to kill spell one or the other. Sure. Reasonable choice to make, I think. I definitely don't love the idea of losing half my life. But also I don't like the idea of just giving them the slasher back, so I guess I kind of just have to suck it up and deal with it. Yeah. Let's see. Suppose we will grab our red mana in case we find a World Soul's Rage. It does not seem like they have interaction in hand. I feel a lot better about playing the Traveling Chocobo. And we are fortunate enough to find a fetch land off the top. And better yet, even one that can send away a forest. Scavenging Ooze is definitely interesting, to say the least. All I can get is Tifa. Tifa's not very scary in any other deck. Okay. Sure. They do not have a demon. I really do wish I had a trampler. I do not, unfortunately. Which is definitely disappointing. Scavenging Ooze can protect us against Tiny Bones. Gives us a blocker for the slasher. I suppose we lose if they play that bat, because the bat that doubles, because we'll take 2 from the Deep Cavern Bat and then 4 from the Unholy Annex. So we need Scavenging Ooze to gain 1 life to survive that, too. So I suppose that's our best choice. I am going to keep Terra Symbiosis on top, because then we can use Bristly's ability to... we can't use Bristly's ability to double, but I will still choose to keep it on top. But at least we're that big enough to block the slasher, and we will get these guys to be even again. Alright, well... guess there's not much to do but end the turn and wait. It's definitely unfortunate. We need to find some kind of answer very soon. I will take back my Tifa for a life. Do I want to draw Terra Symbiosis? I think so. I suppose we need to find a Trampler. No, we need to win this turn, right? So Terra Symbiosis is not that. World Soul's Rage might be helpful. I mean, not extremely so, but to some extent at least. Okay. I suppose this land off the top is good. I mean, we can't... we're just gonna lose to this demon, so we're gonna have to get lucky and hope that they don't block, and we can use Bristly Bill's ability to double. But that would be a very fortunate situation for us to be in. They're thinking about it, which is good for us. Although it's possible they're just thinking what to block with, let alone whether to block. Losing our Trampler was definitely unfortunate. Just have to wait and see what our opponent chooses. They said all they need is to swing with that demon bat and we'll lose. It's not a bat, it's just a demon, but it's enough overhead. Again, we just have to hope they choose no blockers. They go into the tank. We got one more timeout left. Curious what they're thinking on. Believe if they run out here, it skips their blockers phase, and that will be the win for us. But we'll see. We could be getting slow rolled, which would definitely be unfortunate for the last game of the day. But it does appear we are fortunate enough to them to think too long for them to block. And we can double with Bill and sneak out one more victory to end the day. Gives us a great win streak. Had some very lucky wins today. And we are just 2 wins away from reaching Diamond. Today was a phenomenal day on the climb. The fortune and luck has definitely been back on our side. We got some great top decks, some great misplays from our opponent, and just overall some great luck to get us back on track today. We had a phenomenal 9-1 record, and our only loss today was based on a mistake as well. Very hopeful for the next couple days. If this luck can continue, we'll blow through Diamond in no time. Tomorrow we are just 2 wins away, and hopefully we will be able to accomplish getting to Diamond just 1 rank away from reaching Mythic in just the 2nd week of the challenge. Tomorrow we're going to try as well some slight changes to the deck list. I think running a couple Shelter by Ghosts might be decent over the Icetool Explorers, but we'll have to do a day with it and see. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully get a whole new rank.